morning, everybody. Welcome to day 27 of our March Micro Minimizing Challenge. We are almost through the whole month, so if you've been following along since the beginning, congratulations. And if you kind of picked up on it along the way, then I hope that you go back and check out some of the videos or blog posts from the beginning of this challenge. Micro minimizing is a look at minimizing or decluttering, but I'm focused in on very small areas to try to break the job down into little chunks, little manageable size chunks. They're not always easy, but they should be relatively small focus, which makes it seem not so overwhelming. It takes some of the overwhelm out of the job. Today, I am touching on something a little bit more on the sentimental side, and that is going through school and college keepsakes. Most of us that have school and college keepsakes probably have a box of stuff in our basement or in our storage area full of these memories. Part of the problem right off the hop with that is that these memories are stored away in a box out of sight. If you were to think about it, would you even remember what's all in that box? Would you be able to list the items in that box? How often do you think about that box? Because that box is out of sight. It's stored away. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So today our project is to shine some light on the items in that box or those boxes, depending on how much stuff you have. We're going to pull it out, empty out the boxes, sort through the items in there, and we're going to do it in just a very slightly different way, because items in those boxes, the reason we hang on to them is they remind us of our youth, and that's why they're so hard to part with. Is they remind us of when we were young, they remind us of good times. And so how do we sort through our youth? First of all, let's consider that these items are hidden away, and so we're going to bring them out, and we're going to have piles like we usually do for sorting through our items, except there's one different pile when we're dealing with sentimental items such as school and college keepsakes, and that is we're going to have an undecided keep pile. So you're going to have your keep pile, your donate pile, your garbage pile, and an undecided keep pile. The reason for this is it will keep your workflow going. When we're going through stuff that's sentimental, it tends to get difficult. We tend to get emotionally attached. We can get overwhelmed a little quicker. So having the undecided keep pile just kind of has the stuff that you're on the fence. You don't have to deal with it just quite yet. You can think about it a little bit longer, so you can put it into a pile just to the side, which is your undecided pile. It just helps to keep from getting overwhelmed, and it makes the job go faster if you don't kind of get stuck on certain things for a longer period of time. It's like, you know what, I'm not ready to make a decision about this item yet, so I'm just going to set it aside for a little bit longer, and it gives you some time to have some space from it before making a final decision. If your box or boxes have had any exposure to moisture, if you open those boxes and they smell moldy, musty, or you can see mold, unfortunately you'll have to put the lid on that box and just remove it from your home and discard the items. That's really unfortunate if that's the case, but when things have been stored in a basement or storage area for a long time, sometimes it can happen that that moisture gets in there, and our stuff is ruined, which is really unfortunate. The other thing to keep in mind is if this stuff is important enough for you to keep, it should be important enough for you to put on display. Don't have your stuff stored away in a box where nobody thinks about it, you don't think about it. It's out of sight, out of mind. So I do have a few suggestions. One, pick a small area in your home where you could have some of your keepsakes on display, whether that's some room on a bookshelf or a mantle. I've seen ideas of people curating a shadow box, right? And the other thing about picking a small area is it also kind of has some control over how much stuff you keep, because you have a specific area to work with, and you don't want to overfill that area. You want to be able to see what's there and appreciate what's there, okay? And the things that are going to go into these areas, or if you like the shadow box idea, then it's the best of the contents of that box that you're going to have on display. So there should only be a few. If you have more than one item that is attached to a specific memory, pick the best of those items, or of two items. Pick the best, right? After you've gone through all of your items once and you have all of your piles, it's probably a good idea to take a bit of a break. So go have a cup of tea or coffee, take half an hour. Take a little distance from your stuff just to kind of give your brain a break. Because when you come back to it, you're going to go back through that undecided pile again. So a big clue that it's undecided pile is also a big clue that these are probably items you can part with. So most of the items from the undecided pile are probably going to end up being donated or parted with in some way. Keep in mind that you might have items that, like jewelry that you've kept, that could be passed on to children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews. They might appreciate having some items from you. You might have some clothing items specific to the era that you went to school or college. Maybe you could change that into a throw pillow, or make a quilt, from these items. And then that way you still have the memories, but now the items serve a purpose as well, right? They're not just taking up space. You can now have them out on your sofa, or, a throw blanket, if you make a quilt, and then you're using the items. And it kind of gives them new life, and you'll appreciate the memories. Feel free to take pictures of the items that you're parting away with, because the memories that you have are connected to the item. And when you see the item, you have the memory. But when you see a picture of the item, you actually have the same memory connection. So a picture is just as works just as well as having the item for having the memory. You might want to create a keepsake book with pictures of your items. And the neat thing about making a keepsake book is you can also write in the story that goes with that item. And that can be something that would be really appreciated by your family later on, is to have these stories about when you were young and in your youth, and what this item meant to you at that time. If you're looking for a really good digital photo album website, I use mixbook.com, and I'm not being paid to say that. I've been using them for years and years and years, and they give great quality books, and they're fairly easy software to work with online. So that's mixbook.com if you're looking for a digital album to build a memory book. I would highly recommend using them. Let's see. So once you've gone through your undecided keep pile and really dwindled it down, then it's time to move on to your keep pile. And you might find by now that you've had some practice, right, in going through your stuff, and you've had some practice going through your sentimental belongings, and now your keep pile, when you start to look at what do you want to put in that curated area, the shelf, the shadow box, what do you want to, repurpose into something else. And if you've got, again, more than one item that's attached to the same memory, do you really need both items? Do you have which one is the best item to keep to bring that memory out? So don't put your stuff back in a box. If you're going to keep it, and if it's important enough to keep, have it out where you can appreciate it. Have a chosen display area, but don't cram it too full. Just have the best of the best there. And if you make a memory book, and it doesn't have to be a digital memory book, you can make a handmade scrapbook. There's all kinds of creative ways that you can have these things available to you so that you still hang on to those memories. Just rechecking my notes here to make sure I've kind of covered everything. Oh yes, I forgot. So another really neat place to have to store something for display purposes is to use those fillable Christmas ornaments. You can pick those up actually at the dollar store. They open up. So if you've got small items, you can always put them into a fillable Christmas ornament, and then that way they're brought out once a year. They're appreciated and enjoyed once a year. Those memories come out. But then at the end of the Christmas season, you're able to pack those away, and they're not cluttering up your space or, tucked away where you're not going to appreciate them. You know that they'll come out next year. That's a little trick. One day I'll talk about our travel souvenirs, but that's a little trick that my husband and I are using for travel souvenirs, is getting Christmas ornaments so that we're not having clutter of memories, but it's something that gets put away and taken out and put away, taken out, right? We appreciate them more when you see them once in a while. Remember that it's okay to get rid of things other people would keep. This is a quote from Carrie Richardson from her book, From Clutter to Clarity. And so when you think about things like yearbooks or school rings, it tends to be, oh, we have to keep this. You have to keep your yearbooks. You don't have to keep anything. If it's not important to you, or it is no longer of interest to you, it no longer fits what it is that you need to remember, it's okay to let stuff go. If you're looking for permission to let things go, you have it, and you can give yourself permission to let things go. You don't need to keep things that, why do I keep this old thing? Well, I guess because I'm supposed to. It's a yearbook, or because I spent money on it is a big reason why we keep things. That money is spent, it's gone, it's not coming back, and it's okay to not keep that item anymore. What you do have control over is where you're spending your money in the future, and you can change your habits to make smarter choices later. But don't worry about the things that you've already spent money on, especially from school and college where you spent that money years and years and years ago. It's okay to let it go. Okay, so I think that's about all I have to say on school and college keepsakes. So certainly if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me through my website. I have a contact form there for email. You can DM me through Instagram or Facebook. Remember to follow along on Facebook and Instagram. You can subscribe on YouTube so that you don't miss a video. And I really, really appreciate you tuning in and checking out, this month that we've been having some fun. And I know today, going through these things, that might be a little bit more difficult for you. So remember to take breaks as you need. Take your time. And, it's okay. It's okay. You can take those pictures. It's okay. If you really don't want to part with something, nobody's forcing you. It's your stuff. So, you do what you need to do. So, okay. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.